ever think about like uh all the stuff that has to get shipped around?
Yeah.
Not just like your Amazon order or whatever,
Right.
but like serious stuff.
Oh.
Like dangerous things, like chemicals and stuff.
Yeah?
How does that actually work?
It's a whole thing.
It's gotta be.
Like a whole system.
Yeah.
So that's where the dangerous goods safety advisor comes in.
Ah. Oh,
Yeah, they make sure all that hazardous stuff actually gets to where it needs to go.
So they keep everybody safe.
Exactly. They're like the unsung heroes of safety,
Ah.
navigating all those regulations and stuff.
So are we using RoleCatcher for this deep dive then?
We are, yeah.
Cool.
They've got a ton on what a dangerous goods safety advisor actually does day to day.
Okay. So what do they actually do?
So imagine
Yeah.
you're on like a cargo ship
Okay.
about to head out across the ocean,
Okay.
and you're checking this shipment of lithium-ion batteries,
Mm-hmm.
making sure they're secured properly, all that. And you got to make sure it's all documented according to the IMDG code.
The what now?
The IMDG code.
What is that?
Oh, it's like the big book of rules
Oh, okay.
for maritime shipping regulations.
So there are a lot of regulations, I'm guessing?
Oh, tons, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got ADR for road transport, IMDG for the sea, like I said, and ICAO for air.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the ones who figure out how to label a truck full of flammable liquids or train people in a warehouse how to handle hazardous waste.
It's like a whole other language.
That really is.
So what kind of places is this important for?
Oh, man, all sorts. You've got your chemical plants, obviously,
Right.
but also pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
logistics companies,
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing plants,
Wow.
even government agencies.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And get this, it's not just about preventing accidents.
Oh.
They investigate when something does go wrong, too.
Like a detective?
Kinda. Like, say, a shipment of batteries gets damaged and starts a fire.
Oh, no.
The dangerous goods safety advisor would be the one to figure out what happened.
Wow. So they go through everything.
Yep. Shipping manifests to interviewing the workers who loaded it, all that.
To see if someone messed up?
Well, to see what the cause was.
Right.
Maybe it was improper labeling or something wasn't secured, right?
So they prevent it from happening again.
Exactly.
So it's not just about checking boxes on a form then.
No. It's about constantly learning and making things safer.
Always improving.
Yeah. And they're not just stuck behind a desk either.
Oh.
RoleCatcher says this job gets you out and about.
Really?
Yeah, you could be in a warehouse one day,
Okay.
a manufacturing plant the next,
Huh.
or even down at the port.
Wow. So you get to travel around.
You could, yeah.
Not your average 9 to 5?
Nope, not at all.
Sounds kind of exciting.
It can be, but it's not all sunshine and roses.
Oh. What do you mean?
Well, think about it. You're dealing with dangerous stuff.
That's true.
One little mistake could be a big problem.
Yeah.
Plus, the regulations change all the time, so you're constantly learning new things.
Sounds stressful.
It can be, yeah.
So not for the faint of heart then.
Definitely not. You'd have to be pretty passionate about safety to really thrive in this kind of job.
Right. It's more than just a job at that point.
Totally. The people who love this work, they're motivated by the impact they have.
Yeah. Making a real difference.
Exactly. They're not just shuffling paperwork around. They're actually preventing accidents,
Yeah, that's huge.
keeping people safe,
Yeah.
making sure those important materials actually get where they need to be.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
So let's say someone's listening to this and they're like, this is it. This is the job to me. What should they do?
Well, you can't just walk in and get the job.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher made a good point about building a strong portfolio.
What does that even mean in this line of work?
So it's not just about knowing the regulations.
Okay.
It's about showing you can actually use them.
So real world experience.
Yeah. Internships are a great way to start.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
where do you even get an internship for this kind of thing?
Well, there's logistics companies,
Like-
places that handle hazardous materials, maybe even some government agencies.
Okay.
And, volunteering is another option.
Volunteering.
Yeah, like with an emergency response team or something.
Right. Getting hands-on experience.
Exactly. Showing you can handle pressure.
Yeah.
Make good decisions.
So you work your way up.
That's how it usually goes.
So how do you climb that ladder? What's the progression like?
RoleCatcher breaks it down pretty well, actually. It's helpful to see it all laid out.
Yeah, for sure.
So you start at the entry level, of course.
Right. Newbie.
Basically.
Yeah.
You're there to learn the ropes.
Yeah. Shadowing the more experienced advisors.
Exactly. Maybe double-checking paperwork against the latest regulations.
Making sure everything's legit.
Yep. Building those fundamental skills.
Soaking it all up.
Exactly. Then you move into a junior advisor role.
Okay, so you're starting to get some real responsibility then.
You are. You might start conducting your own inspections.
Wow.
Maybe even leading parts of an investigation.
Cool. Like what kind of investigation are we talking about?
Well, let's say a truck carrying flammable liquids gets pulled over, and it's not properly placarded.
Oh, no.
Right. So as a junior advisor, you might be the one to interview the driver,
Okay.
review the company's safety procedures, things like that.
To make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right. Recommend some corrective actions.
So it's about more than just following the rules at that point.
Yeah. You're starting to make decisions that could affect a whole company.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is, but it's also exciting.
So what's next? You hit the experienced level. What changes then?
That's where you really get to make your mark.
How so?
You're not just following the rules anymore. You're helping to create them.
Whoa, really?
Yep. You might be developing a whole safety management system for a company,
Wow.
making sure they're compliant with every single regulation.
That's intense.
It is, but think about it.
Yeah.
You're shaping the way an entire organization handles safety.
Yeah. You're like the safety guru.
Something like that.
Mhm.
And then there's the senior level.
The top of the food chain.
Pretty much. You're the go-to expert at that point.
Wow. So you're consulting for all sorts of companies then.
Could be. Or maybe overseeing a team of advisors.
Okay.
Some even end up as expert witnesses in court cases.
No kidding. So you start out carefully labeling a box and end up in court.
It happens.
That's wild.
Yeah,
But it makes sense, I guess. You've seen it all at that point.
exactly. But there's one more thing we have to talk about. Something that's important at every stage of your career.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Communication.
Communication.
Yeah. You're not just dealing with rules and regulations in this job. You're dealing with people.
Right, like explaining things.
Exactly.
Mm.
You have to be able to explain complex stuff in a way that anyone can understand.
Right, so you can't just be like, hey, you're doing this wrong. You have to actually explain why it matters.
Exactly. And it's not always easy,
Right. Trying to get someone to care about a bunch of rules.
especially when they've been doing things a certain way for years.
Yeah, like you said before, this isn't just a desk job.
Right? Think about it. You're inspecting that cargo ship.
Yeah.
You've got to talk to the crew, the port authorities,
Right.
maybe even deal with different languages and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's a whole other level.
It is. And the stakes are high.
For sure. One miscommunication could lead to disaster.
Exactly. So you need more than just technical knowledge.
You're like a safety diplomat.
Something like that.
That human element is so interesting, though.
It is. And it's something RoleCatcher actually touches on in their interview prep section.
Really? I didn't realize they got into that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. They have a whole database of practice interview questions.
No kidding.
Thousands of them.
Yeah.
And they're all tailored to specific roles.
So like for a dangerous goods safety advisor?
Exactly. They really emphasize being able to explain complex stuff in a way that anyone can understand.
Makes sense.
They even give you tips on how to structure your answers and stuff.
Oh, wow. That's helpful.
It's one thing to know the regulations inside and out,
Right.
but you have to be able to communicate that knowledge effectively.
Totally. Otherwise, what's the point? Well, this has been fascinating.
It's a really interesting field.
It is. We've covered so much. The day-to-day stuff, the challenges, the skills you need.
Even how to prepare for job interviews.
Right. That RoleCatcher resource sounds super useful.
Definitely worth checking out.
And it's interesting to think about how this role will change in the future.
Oh, yeah, with automation and AI and everything.
Right. It's not just about knowing the rules of today.
It's about being ready for whatever comes next.
Exactly. So for anyone out there listening who's intrigued by this kind of work,
Yeah.
just remember, the world needs people who can keep those essential goods moving safely.
It's a critical job.
Absolutely. And it takes a special kind of person, someone who's detail-oriented and passionate about safety.
And a good communicator.
Right. Someone who can bridge that gap between the technical stuff and the human side of things.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap things up here.
That's good.
This has been a really insightful deep dive into the world of dangerous goods safety advisors.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay curious.